As part of our meditation this evening, these words from the Tao Te Ching, dedicated to the great master, Sri Patabi Joyce. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. And yet, for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass water. The soft overcomes the hard. The gentle overcomes the rigid. Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice. Therefore, the Master remains serene in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter his heart because he has given up helping. For he is people's greatest help. Every one of us has a master sitting deep inside of us. And we see the reflection of that in great masters such as Sri Patabi Joyce and Sri Brahmananda Saraswati and Sri Ramana Maharshi, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. So many masters, and yet only one. Each time, each lifetime, we meet our Guru. The form may be different, but it is still the one Guru whom we meet lifetime after lifetime. So for now, deeply relax. And the moment you feel a calmness settling over you, the moment we feel an embrace, a protective sheath covering us and warming us, that is the Guru in his formless form. We wouldn't be here at Ananda Ashram if we hadn't, at some time or other, sat at the feet of our true Guru. I looked up for the first time. I've been offering Memorial Day weekend programs for many years. But today I felt moved to look up the definition of memorial. And it said, one of the definitions was, contained in memory as a memorial possession, contained in our memory. So every time we keep someone close to our heart, close to our soul, every time it is a memorial to them. Not just one weekend of the year. It could be throughout the year, all day long. There isn't one day where I don't either think of Guruji or talk to him. Every day since he left his body in 1993. He's very good company, the Dharmadev too. Dharmadev sits every morning. If he talks to Guruji, he doesn't tell me about it. Prabhu talks about me to Guruji. That's why he doesn't tell me. No. But there's no reason to feel that anything has changed because the body is gone. So I thought, since this past year, it seems our problems have escalated, have become more than ever before due to the financial times and other things going on. It seems like this has been a challenging year, very, for many people. And so I took out from my files something that my mind went to, an essay of Sri Brahmananda called Our Problems. And I have on the board in the main house as the topic, the ultimate solution. If any of you have come into this room feeling weighed down by a problem or two or more, you're going to hear from a great master, Sri Brahmananda, what is the ultimate solution for all problems. And he says, Guruji, it's impossible for anyone to count and computerize the infinite variety of problems. When you are single, you find you cannot get along with yourself. There are a lot of single people in this room. My goodness. I thought I'd hear one or two. When you are single, you find you cannot get along with yourself. When you have a wife or husband, you cannot get along with her or him. And when you have children, then you find you cannot get along with them. When you join a society or organization, whether it be a national society, international, cosmological, or scientific, eventually you find you cannot get along with the members of those societies or organizations. And when you worship God, then you find you have difficulty getting along with the other gods presented by different religions. Therefore, it's impossible to computerize problems by means of a mechanical computer. For that purpose, you need a living computer, which fortunately you have in the form of your what? Brain. Guruji loved to talk about the brain. He was a neurosurgeon. And he understood the brain, the nervous system, but being a great yogi and a mystic, he also understood the difference between the brain and the mind. So Guruji says, it's impossible to computerize problems by means of a mechanical computer. For that purpose, you need a living computer, which fortunately you have in the form of your brain. If you are able to relax your brain, you will be able to witness this fact, not as a party or an agent, but to witness as a witnessing judge. Here, the judge is the I am, and that which is being witnessed, is the mind, with all its individual thinking, impressions, vrittis, and arguments for and against. So what Gurji is saying is that it's not enough for us to read in a book that the mind is creating problems with all its opposites and thinking of itself as the doer or agent. What is necessary is to step outside of the mind and watch it as separate from you. It's like sometimes my leg hurts. Not really, don't worry. If I use an example like that, I get 25 emails the next day with remedies for my leg that's hurting me. So my leg is fine, but when my leg is not fine, I don't feel I'm not fine. I feel my leg is giving me problems. My leg is giving me pain. But until I separate from my body and observe as a witness what's really troubling me, it feels sometimes like I'm in trouble, I'm in pain, but it's only the body or a part of the body that is in pain. Same thing for the mind. Unless we separate from the mind as the witnessing eye, we see or we feel what's out there, Bharati. We're all looking at you, looking.
I'm trying to see if the fire things are in the brain.
Oh, okay. You know, when you're very aware and alert,
Safe,
everything's safe, everybody. The fire and everything.
because it doesn't go together. I should have got caramel. Sorry for this one.
No. I was just making the point that Gurji made all the time. That as long as we identify with the mind, identify with the memories, the images, the thinking of the mind, we will bear the result of that identification in the form of suffering. But if you step aside from the mind as the witnessing eye, watching the thoughts of the mind, you will no longer be affected by that, number one. And number two, you will have your own direct experience that you have a mind, but you are something other than the mind. But first, it doesn't help to read that in a book. You can intellectually understand it. But sometimes, when you're in the midst of an argument, isn't there a voice saying to you, stop talking already? He just told you he heard that 7 times. So stop saying the same thing. And would you lower your voice, the neighbors will think who knows what about you. There is something not liking what's going on, right? Something trying to regulate, restrain. That's the witnessing eye. And the more we have that knack of separating from the body, separating from the mind and the senses, the more we will tap into our natural reservoir, that ocean of bliss and happiness and joy and peace and power. That's our real life. That's our real state. But we're identifying with a little well instead of an ocean. We're using atomic power to blow up a well instead of to blow up the whole storehouse of memory. I hope you understand it has to be your direct experience. Books will not help us. Lectures will not help us. Now you're ready to go back to what was suggested to us more than 5,000 years ago in the Bhagavad Gita. Witness the sadness of the emotions. Know that you have emotions, but you are not those emotions. The greatest tribute we can pay our gurus is when we have to have a period of grieving. We all did for Sri Brahmananda. Not too long. Not too long. Because he didn't allow that to be possible for us. He was hugging us in the form of little children who never hugged anybody. They were running up to give you a hug. A cat, a mean, nasty, growly cat who didn't like people, was sitting in our laps shortly after he left his body. So they can enter any form to be with you. You watch. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to be, except where they are magnetically pulled? So there's so many of us who were with him at least 20, 30 years. And we could never imagine life without Sri Brahmananda. But he said, you will enjoy more when I have left my body, because you won't have to call to see if you can arrange to see me for a few minutes. You won't have to speak to my secretaries. You can call me anytime, and you'll feel me more strongly than ever before. He told us that. And it wasn't an idea. We began to feel that nothing had changed. Nothing had changed. If anything, there was even more power at this ashram. And we couldn't believe how cheerful we felt. How cheerful we felt after a while. Why? Because he was penetrating. He was the program. I have radios that look cheerful in my house. I'm being funny tonight. There are certain, I'll leave it there, that's fine. I have radios that look cheerful. More cheerful than my television sets. Because that usually is playing CNN. And that's a different frequency. But radios are usually tuned to QXR, some classical music, or CDs. Now, Gurji is saying something very powerful here. It is only by means of meditation that one can relax our brain totally. In the state of meditation, one realizes, I am not the body and I am not the mind. When the I principle, I'm waiting for the third sneeze. My grandmother always said, sneezing at the end of a statement means that statement is absolutely true. Anybody have a sneeze coming up? I had two. In the state of meditation, one realizes, I am not the body and I am not the mind. When the I principle is established in the pure form of I am, then the individual mind becomes the cosmic mind. And then alone does our mind begin to, quote, mind its own business. Gurji only gave out one mantra, and it was always mind your own business. It wasn't meant as we understand that. Gurji said we have only one business, and that's the business of finding out what is our true life. Who am I really? Who am I not? What am I not? That's our business. Anything else we're minding others' business. He says, when the I principle is established, meaning when we're holding on to that pure form, that sense of I am, then the individual mind, or the ego mind, becomes the cosmic mind. Because the ego mind is the mind of the past. No ego, no past, no mind. And it's the no mind condition we need, meaning no ego mind, no individual mind, except when we have to function at work, in our jobs. Then we have necessary thinking. But thinking that's emotional, thinking that's going to cause suffering, interfere with our functioning perfectly. Another definition of yoga is perfection in action. If we're going to be yoga teachers, come to an ashram of the Yoga Society of New York, then we have to understand what yoga is. Yoga is the merging of the individual mind, which is the mind of the past, with the mind of the here now, the cosmic mind. What is the operation of the mind? What is the work of the mind? Gertrude says, dualism. Dualism in the form of love and hate, admiration and jealousy, liking and disliking. The individual mind must be dualistic. It doesn't matter if you're the president of a country, a prime minister, a scientist, or philosopher. On the plane of the mind, you cannot avoid the relation of mind with cause and effect, time and space. On the level of the mind, you can't avoid the relation of mind with cause and effect, time and space. By means of meditation, the individual mind becomes cosmic mind, and the individual I is transformed into the cosmic I. Then begins the payment of all our karmas. Some example of Gurdjieff's came to mind when people would come and say they were saddened by the loss of a family member or close friend. Gurdjieff would say, do you feel enjoyment? A little enjoyment? Grieving for this person? Does it somehow help your heart release its pain? And sometimes the people would say, yes, I would feel worse if I didn't feel sad or didn't miss this person or grieve for this person. So Gurdjieff said, well then do it, but go all the way, all the way. Cry, 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 cry. Shout, 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 shout. Go all the way into depression. And you can be many days like that. But if you're going to cry, I want you to cry till the end. Crazy crying, I want. So much so that if you listen to yourself, you'll end up laughing. Because we sound very foolish sometimes when we're crying like a baby, sobbing away. And he said, remember this. As meditators, as yogis, you can enter the prison of your mind anytime. You can go there anytime. But you are the warden, you're not the prisoner. The warden has a key. He can come out. Yogis can enjoy with crying and enjoy with laughing, because we have a key. And the key is to transcend the body, mind, and senses so that we're once again in our real form, which is the form of knowledge, of power, and bliss. Satchit Anand. We are omnipotent, omniscient and omnipresent. But we forgot. The Masters know. They remind us. If you want to see something that will prove what I'm saying, if you're here tomorrow, go up to the Cosmic Temple and look at the photograph of Sri Brahmananda on the wooden steps. That was taken 48 hours after his soul left his body. What is he doing? Smiling. Was there any embalming? None whatsoever. That smile never left the face, because our feeling was that his soul re-entered the body, kept it shining for us until we brought it for cremation. It was impossible to be depressed looking at that. He looks like he's having the best sleep of his life, better than we ever had. It's a beautiful smile, and it reassured us never to be afraid of any separation, any idea of death, because it doesn't exist. It's the death of the body, that's all. Make sure you take a look at that. And we can also, if I want to work myself up into a good cry, all I have to do is close my eyes and imagine his hand on my head, which he did very often like this. Oh yes. If I stayed there, I'd have to just stop reading, because we create that. We create dualism when the purpose of the life of every master is to end dualism. So, I'm feeling that. He had tremendous energy, didn't he, Pattabhi Jois? I think he's inhabiting me, because I've got this feeling on my chest. He was very powerful. Oh. Sometimes all the gurus enter you and sit in the heart center. What is the operation of the mind? It is dualism. Dualism in the form of love and hate, admiration, jealousy, liking, disliking. The individual mind must be dualistic. Doesn't matter if you're the president of a country, a prime minister, scientist, philosopher. On the plane of the mind, you cannot avoid the relation of mind with cause and effect, time and space. By means of meditation, the individual mind becomes cosmic mind, and the individual I is transformed into the cosmic I. That's the meaning of yoga. Then begins the payment of all our karmas. The real baby is the mind. And the penalty for that baby's karmas has to be paid by the real parents of that baby. The principle of I am is the real parent of this baby individual mind. All human problems are of two types: getting into the mind and getting out of the mind. Patanjali also writes that there are two types of problems or karmas. Number one, slow and progressive. And number two, accidental and all of a sudden. In other words, active karmas and dormant karmas. It's very important, says Sri Brahmananda, to watch these problems carefully. In the past, the present, and the future, it is always the restless mind that is the cause of individual, domestic, and family wars, as well as social, national, and international wars. Always the restless mind. The mind that is unhappy divides the cosmos, whereas the mind that is happy unites the cosmos. And this is without exception. It's very easy to detect others' karmas, but ultimately it doesn't help. For by telling others, you make enemies of them. Therefore, a better idea is to realize one's own karmas by means of meditation on I am. When real meditation is going on, then the demonic forces of the mind are transformed into divine forces. Whenever Gurdjieff said that, as he said it often, he said, when real meditation, not phony meditation, not systems of meditation that are mechanical, that's not real meditation. Meditation is our natural state that goes on spontaneously, automatically. He said, when real meditation's going on, then automatically the demonic forces of our mind are transformed into divine forces. And we would say, how does that happen, Gurdjieff? And we would wait. He said, I don't know. He said, it's mysterious. And he said he didn't know, because as powerful as his mind was, we knew he was brilliant, if his mind were there to analyze what was going on, it would mean meditation wasn't going on. Because mind is not vast enough to take that and to record that. So mind has to be transcended. If you can remember an insight that you had in meditation, you weren't meditating. You were thinking. You were analyzing. No, you have to come out of meditation a little dazed. What happened? And feeling good. You know how to, oh, Gurdjieff's going to say, he's going to tell me I shouldn't jump. When real meditation is going on, then the demonic forces of the mind are transformed into divine forces. The wicked mind is transformed into the divine mind, and the individual mind is transformed into the cosmic mind. When karmas have all been paid, this individual mind is released from its individuality. And then this mind is transformed into cosmic mind. This play between cosmic consciousness and cosmic mind, this play between cosmic consciousness and cosmic mind, this back and forth play of cosmic energy is always going on in everybody's mind. That means all of us, including me. I mentioned in the afternoon session that Gurdjieff occasionally startled us by saying, did you know everyone here is schizophrenic? Did you know everyone here, all of you, including myself, suffering from schizophrenia? As usual, our mouths dropped open because his background, he had a vast background in psychiatry. But he said, we live in two different worlds. Sometimes we're on the relative plane as householder, enjoying with materialism. Other times we're completely out of that world and in the world of the blue sky. There's a pull up, there's a pull down. And sometimes we feel we're hanging, we're on hold by the forces pulling us in two different directions. More purifying. So lovely. When karmas have been paid, this individual mind is released from its individuality. Then this mind is transformed into cosmic mind. This play between cosmic consciousness and cosmic mind, this back and forth play of cosmic energy is always going on in everybody's mind. Now, how do you know whether your mind is individual? It's very simple. Either you are in the role of the agent, or you are in the role of the witness. So take a deep breath. And now as you breathe out, release all the language, all the words. This will only be 60 seconds. So feel yourself letting go and opening up to this now. Feeling it, perceiving it, imbibing it. Sometimes it only takes 1 minute to reconnect with your real life, your real home. I am that I am. That is our home. Krishna Devi, would you lead us in our traditional prayer? Thank you, Krishna Devi. And if some of you are feeling very high, that you may need a designated driver, take 2 cookies. Chocolate chip is a great way to come back to earth.